Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a challenge that, let's be honest, almost every product manager faces at some point. How do you break your team out of the feature factory and turn it into a powerhouse that's actually empowered and driven by outcomes? This is your advanced playbook. All right, let's just jump right in with a question I want you to really sit with for a second. Think about your job, your team's success. Is it all about shipping more stuff faster? Is your world defined by velocity and story points? Or is it about actually making a difference for your customers? Now, if that first part sounds a little too familiar, you're in exactly the right place. This explainer is definitely for you. First things first, we have to diagnose the problem. A huge amount of the frustration we feel as PMs comes from being caught in what we call the feature factory trap. So let's put a name to it and define what that really means. This really gets to the core of it. Just look at the difference. On a feature team, the goal is simple: ship features. Leadership comes to you and says, build this, and your success is all about output, how fast and how much you can produce. But on an empowered team, the goal is totally different. It's about solving customer problems. Leadership says, achieve this outcome, and you're measured on impact. Did you actually move the needle for the customer, for the business? It's a massive shift from valuing output to valuing outcomes. So how do you know if you're stuck in one? Well, here are the classic symptoms. Is your roadmap just a long laundry list of features? Are you constantly being handed solutions to just go and build? Does your job feel less like a product manager and more like a project manager, just a taskmaster? And this is a big one. Does your team almost never talk directly with the people who actually use your product? If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. Okay, but so what? Why is this such a big deal? Well, because being a feature factory isn't just inefficient. It has real, tangible, damaging costs to your product, to your team's morale, and frankly, to your own career. For the product itself, the risk is huge. You end up building a lot of things that sound great in a launch announcement, but they don't solve a real problem for anyone. And the result? You get a bloated product, low engagement, and just so much wasted effort. You're just adding noise, not value. And what about the impact on your team? Think about it. You hired these brilliant, creative, problem-solving people, but this model turns them into execution machines. Engineers become code monkeys. Designers become pixel pushers. They lose that connection to the why, and morale just hits the floor. It's a surefire way to cause burnout and kill any sense of ownership. This quote absolutely nails the product manager's dilemma here. You are held responsible for the success of the product, right? If the numbers don't go up, that's on you. But you have no actual power to discover the best way to make those numbers go up. You're just told what to build. It's a completely impossible situation to be in. And here's the kicker for your career path. This model physically holds you back. Instead of developing into a strategic leader who shapes a product vision, you get stuck being a taskmaster. Your most valuable skills just stagnate because you're trapped in execution, and you never get to do the high-impact work that actually defines a great PM career. Okay, so that's the problem, but the good news is there is a much, much better way to build incredible products. So let's talk about the vision, let's talk about the empowered product team. This definition is everything. Empowered teams are missionaries, not mercenaries. What's the difference? Well, mercenaries will build whatever you pay them to build, no questions asked. But missionaries, they believe in the cause. They are given a problem to solve, a clear goal, and then they're trusted. They're given the autonomy to figure out the best way to solve it. They own the how because they are so deeply invested in the why. And this visualizes that critical shift in focus. The whole team's obsession flips from the solution to the problem. They stop just fulfilling internal requests, and they become the true voice of the market inside the company. All their creative energy is channeled into deeply understanding the customer's world. And of course, their workflow looks completely different. It all starts with a clear objective, the why, from leadership. Then the team itself goes deep into discovery to find and validate the real problem. Only after that do they start developing and testing different solutions. And finally, they ship the best one and measure its impact. You see, it's this beautiful, continuous loop of learning and creating value, and it's driven by the team. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but how in the world do I actually start making this happen? It's a huge question. Changing an entire company culture is a massive journey. But you know what? It always starts with a single, well-framed conversation. The very first thing you do in that conversation is acknowledge the reality of the situation. You need to go in and basically say, look, I get it. This is a huge change and it's not going to happen overnight. By setting realistic expectations right from the start, you show that you're thinking strategically. This isn't about a revolution, it's about starting an evolution. So here it is, your tactical playbook for that first conversation. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, gather data. Don't walk in with an opinion, walk in with cold, hard evidence. Step 2, frame the outcome. Connect that customer pain point directly to a business goal that your leadership actually cares about. And 3, propose an experiment. Don't ask to change the whole company. Just ask for autonomy on one small project to prove that this model can work. So what does that evidence look like? I'm talking about real customer quotes from interviews. I'm talking about usage data showing exactly where people are struggling or dropping off in your product. Market research. And maybe most important of all, a super clear answer to the question, why does solving this specific problem matter to our business right now? You make your case not by being the loudest person in the room, but by being the most informed person about your customer. And that brings us to the final crucial takeaway. I want you to walk away from this explainer and ask yourself this one question. Just for a moment, stop thinking about your roadmap as a list of features. Instead, ask yourself, what is the one market problem that, if my team could solve it, would change everything for our customers and our business? That's it. That's your starting point. That is your first real step away from the feature factory and toward becoming a truly empowered team.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.